Everyone on set remembered the day it happened, the day the line between performance and something dangerously genuine seemed to dissolve. It wasn't just another intimate scene between Sam Wan and Katrina Balfe. They had filmed dozens before, full of longing, heartbreak, passion, and reconciliation. But this one felt different from the moment they stepped into the room. Even before the director called action, there was a strange current in the air. A tension so palpable that the crew struggled to put words to it. Sam was unusually quiet, pacing with slow, deliberate steps, his jaw clenched as if wrestling with emotions far heavier than the script required. Katrina, normally bright and playful during rehearsals, kept her gaze low, inhaling deeply like someone bracing for impact. A makeup artist later admitted she noticed Kate's hands trembling slightly while fixing a loose curl. At the time she assumed it was exhaustion, but afterward, she wasn't so sure. Ironically, the scene they were filming wasn't meant to be particularly intense, not compared to the countless emotionally charged moments Outlander was famous for. It was supposed to be simple, Jamie and Claire sharing a private, simmering conversation. But the moment Sam and Katrina lifted their eyes to each other, something shifted. It stopped feeling like acting. It felt like truth. When the director signaled action, Sam stepped into frame with such laser focus that the crew member at the monitor instinctively leaned forward. Katrina met his gaze, and the look they exchanged ignited the room in an instant, an unspoken intensity that didn't belong to the script. Their voices came out softer, steadier, almost trembling, and the closeness between them tightened with each line. The world around them, lights, cameras, the 50 people watching, seemed to vanish. As the scene built, Sam reached for Katrina's arm, pulling her closer with a depth that had never been rehearsed. She didn't flinch. Instead, she reacted with such raw, vulnerable emotion that several crew members exchanged startled glances, unsure if they were still watching Claire and Jamie, or Sam and Kate. Their breathing quickened. Their movements grew instinctive, not choreographed. And for one suspended second, the cameraman considered whether he'd just captured something that shouldn't be on film at all. A lighting tech later whispered, "Their eyes said everything, and none of it was acting." The director, usually calm and encouraging, snapped out of his stunned stillness and barked, "Cut." The word cracked sharply through the room. But Sam and Kate didn't move. They didn't step back, didn't loosen their grip on each other, didn't break eye contact. It took nearly 3 seconds, 3 long, breathless seconds, before they seemed to return to reality. Katrina blinked first and stepped away as if waking from a dream. Sam inhaled deeply, almost shakily, dragging a hand through his hair in a rare moment of visible overwhelm. The director muttered something about taking 5, but no one really heard him. The air afterward was thick, unsettled. The crew spoke only in low murmurs as Sam walked toward a corner of the set, shoulders tight. Katrina slipped in the opposite direction, head down and steps quick. A costume assistant later said, "It felt like we'd watched something private, something we weren't supposed to see." Whispers spread fast. Some insisted it was just chemistry at its peak. Others whispered the emotions had come from somewhere far deeper, somewhere unscripted. One assistant director swore she saw Kate discreetly wipe her eyes behind a set wall. Another crew member noticed Sam gripping the back of a chair, as if trying to steady himself after being hit by something he hadn't expected. But the real spark for the rumors came minutes later. The director called a longer break, and Sam and Katrina quietly slipped away down a side hallway usually reserved for equipment. Someone spotted them turning a corner together, walking close, too close to be casual, and speaking in hushed, urgent voices. No one followed, no one dared, but everyone wondered what conversation could possibly follow a moment like that. The tension didn't fade while they were gone. It grew heavier, spreading through the entire set. Everyone pretended to work, but every glance drifted toward the hallway, carrying the same unspoken question, what is happening between them? A lighting tech, grabbing replacement bulbs, accidentally spotted him at the far end of the hall. They weren't embracing or arguing, nothing dramatic. But they stood far too close, voices low, expressions intense, as though trying to untangle emotions that had burst beyond their control. Sam's hand rested near the wall behind Kate, not touching her, but close enough to steady himself. Katrina's arms were folded, not defensively, but overwhelmed, torn between stepping back or leaning in. The tech backed away instantly, certain he had stumbled into something private. When Sam and Katrina finally returned, their energy had changed. Sam's expression was composed, but his eyes remained warm, unsettled. Katrina's smile, usually quick and bright, looked softer, more fragile. They didn't walk together, yet the invisible thread between them tugged with every step. When filming resumed, the shift was unmistakable. Their lines were charged with new urgency, new vulnerability. Even in scenes without romance, the gravity between them pulled every camera angle tighter. An editor later confessed that reviewing the footage felt like watching lightning trapped in glass. After wrap, a small group went out for drinks. Sam initially declined, claiming exhaustion, but changed his mind. Katrina was already there, laughing politely with co-stars. When Sam arrived, her eyes flicked toward him instantly, and the subtle change in her smile didn't go unnoticed. They didn't sit together, yet kept drifting toward the same spaces, the same conversations, the same tenuous pull. A castmate said, "It was like watching two magnets fight the pull, and lose." The turning point came as the night ended. Most people had left. Katrina stepped outside, tugging her coat close. Sam followed minutes later. Those lingering watched as he caught up to her beneath the orange glow of a streetlight. They spoke quietly. Katrina touched his arm, briefly but meaningfully. Sam leaned in, maybe to hear better, or maybe because he couldn't help it. It was small, fleeting, easily dismissed, except by those who knew better. For them, the truth was obvious. Whatever had flared earlier had not faded. It had deepened. In the days that followed, the ripple of that moment lingered. They were careful, aware, but undeniably closer. Their scenes carried a new softness, even when the script didn't call for it. Sam grew more protective, often standing near Kate during breaks, checking on her without drawing attention. Katrina, in turn, became gentler with him, touching his back as she passed, straightening his collar, laughing at his smallest jokes with a tenderness that sparked looks between the makeup team. Rumors swelled. People speculated, whispered, replayed moments. But no one confronted them. The truth was too delicate, too interwoven with years of trust and partnership to reduce to gossip. What everyone agreed on was this: something real had surfaced that day. Something neither Sam nor Katrina could hide. Their feelings hadn't just slipped through the cracks of a scene, they had erupted. And though they never spoke publicly about it, those who were there insist on one thing. That moment wasn't acting. It was revelation.